Everyone, and welcome to this week's live session. And I'd like to say that it's a beautiful day where we are, I hope. And I'm traveling today. That's why the different setup. So I'm calling you from California. So I hope you can see the screen okay and see the slideshow that we're about to present today. It might be a little different look than you used to, or it might be the same one. I'm not entirely sure what you're seeing because I only have one screen. Well, anyway, welcome to today's lecture on Human Resources Management, HRM, strategy in the context of international business. So this session aligns with our course objectives to understand multinational company strategies and the impact of global business environments on U.S. firms. So we're going to explore how HRM strategies support multinational enterprises, MNEs, in navigating diverse political, cultural, and economic landscapes. Chapter 13 of our textbook provides a framework for understanding how global HR practices drive competitive advantage. So let's begin by defining the role of HRM in international business. HRM is the backbone of any organization, but in international business, it takes on added complexity. According to Collison et al. In 2020, HRM involves managing people to achieve strategic objectives, including recruitment, training, and compensation. In a global context, HRM must adapt to varying cultural norms, labor laws, and economic conditions across the U.S., across other countries. For U.S. companies, effective HRM ensures that they remain competitive in the markets like the EU, China, and Japan, aligning with our course objectives to understand multinational strategies. For example, an MNE like Apple must tailor its HR practices to comply with EU labor regulations while meeting US standards. Today, we'll explore how HRM supports global operations here in this show. Global HRM faces unique challenges as outlined in Chapter 13. Cultural differences such as collectivism in Japan versus individualism in the US shape employee expectations and management styles, living or tying directly to our course objective on cultural intelligence. Labor laws vary significantly, for instance. China's strict regulations contrast with the EU's emphasis on employee rights. MNEs must decide whether to hire expatriates who bring the firm expertise and specific knowledge, or local talent who understand the market. Balancing global HR policies with local needs is critical. And for example, a U.S. firm operating in Japan might standardize recruitment processes but adapt training to local cultural norms. And these challenges highlight the next need for strategic HRM to support international success. Cultural intelligence, or CQ, is a core concept in Chapter 13 and directly relates to our course objective on understanding cultural impacts on U.S. businesses. CQ enables managers to navigate diverse work environments, as Collison et al. Emphasizes. For instance, in high context cultures like Japan, where indirect communication is valued, U.S. managers need CQ to interpret subtle cues. And this affects recruitment, which is hiring culturally aware staff, training, teaching cross-cultural skills, and team dynamics, loosening elusive collaboration. A U.S. firm like IBM might train its managers to adapt to Japan's hierarchical workplace culture, reducing conflicts and enhancing productivity. CQ ensures HRM aligns with global business strategies. Chapter 13 highlights how HRM aligns with MNE strategies, a key course objective. And the authors of the textbook describe three strategies: global standardization processes for cost efficiency, multi-domestic, tailored to local markets, and transnational, a hybrid approach. And for example, a global economy might involve uniform training programs across all regions as seen in firms like Coca-Cola. A multi-domestic approach used by Unilever in China adapts HR policies to local labor laws. A transnational strategy like that of Procter & Gamble balances global standards with local flexibility. HRM supports these strategies by allocating talent, such as deploying expatriates and designing training to meet strategic goals, ensuring U.S. firms succeed globally. Recruitment and selection are critical HRM functions in international business, as discussed in Chapter 13. M&Es must choose between expatriates who bring firms specific expertise but incur high costs and labor hires who offer, or local labor hires who offer market knowledge and cultural fit. For instance, an expatriate, a U.S. tech firm entering China might hire local engineers familiar with the market while sending expatriate managers to ensure strategic alignment. A hybrid approach, blending both, is often effective, and selection criteria includes technical skills and cultural adaptability, aligning with our course focus on cultural intelligence. The textbook authors note that the firms like Google prioritize candidates with global mindsets to navigate the diverse markets, enhancing competitiveness for Japanese companies, or for U.S. companies, rather. Training and developer vital for global HRM, as Chapter 13 emphasizes. Cross-cultural training builds cultural intelligence, helping employees navigate diverse work environments. A key course objective, technical training ensures consistent skills across regions, while leadership development prepares expatriates for global roles. For example, a U.S. firm like Ford might train managers on EU labor laws to ensure compliance. The textbook authors highlight that effective training reduces cultural misunderstandings and improves performance. And for instance, in Japan, training U.S. expatriates on local business etiquette fosters better collaboration. And this aligns with M&E strategies supporting U.S. firms' global success. Chapter 13 discusses how compensation and performance management differ across markets. Compensation must account for local cost of living and labor laws, and for instance, higher salaries in EU reflect the stricter regulations, while China's lower wages align with economic conditions there. And so performance management balances global standards, for instance, uniform KPIs, with local metrics such as teamwork focus in Japan. Challenges include ensuring equity and motivating diverse teams as cultural perceptions of rewards vary. So, for example, U.S. firms like Microsoft might offer performance bonuses in the EU, but adapt incentives in China to local norms. And this ties to our course objective on navigating international business environments for U.S. companies. Managing expatriates is a key focus of Chapter 13. Selecting expatriates requires assessing cultural fit and adaptability, as the authors note. Challenges include high costs, family adjustment issues, and repatriation difficulties. For instance, a U.S. manager in China might struggle with language barriers or cultural norms. Support strategies like pre-departure training and local mentoring help mitigate these issues. This aligns with our course objective on cultural intelligence, as U.S. firms must prepare expatriates to succeed in markets like China or Japan. Effective expatriate management ensures strategic alignment and enhances global competitiveness. So Chapter 13 emphasizes ethical and legal considerations in global HRM, tying to our course focus on balancing legal and ethical issues. Ethical challenges include ensuring fair wages and promoting diversity across markets. Legal compliance varies. For example, the EU's GDPR imposes strict data privacy rules, while China's labor code regulates working hours. U.S. firms must balance global ethical standards with local practices. And for instance, a company like Amazon must comply with EU anti-discrimination laws while adapting to China's labor regulations. The authors note that stress that ethical HRM builds trust and supports long-term success, critical for U.S. companies operating globally. So this slide addresses our course objectives on conducting international trade in the EU, China, and Japan. Chapter 13 highlights how HRM adapts to local contexts. In the EU, strong labor laws emphasize work-life balance, requiring U.S. firms to offer flexible policies. In China, cost-driven labor markets and government regulations shape HRM, like firms like Walmart, adapting to local wage structures. Japan's hierarchical culture prioritizes loyalty and teamwork, influencing performance metrics. The authors note that aligning HRM with these market needs ensures competitiveness for U.S. firms and so forth. For U.S. firms, understanding these differences is key to successful global operations. And finally, wrapping up, in our conclusion, HRM is a strategic asset for M&Es, as Chapter 13 illustrates. It drives success by aligning talent with global strategies, boosting cultural intelligence and fostering cultural intelligence and ensuring ethical legal compliance. And this supports our course objectives of understanding multinational strategies and cultural impacts for U.S. firms. By adapting HRM into markets like the EU, China, and Japan, companies enhance competitiveness and navigate global challenges. So thank you for your attention. And so review these slides in this slideshow. And if you have any questions, please reach out and contact me. I'll be happy to explore them with you further. In the meantime, I'll see you in class. So long, everybody. Stay safe out there.